good evening, everyone, and welcome to the ChitChat show. If you're new here, my name is Ken, and you can find me on Northern Viking every day and Northern Viking Explorer on YouTube. I'm here with my friendly co-host, Stephen Loney, 8-Bit Warrior on Twitter, and Stephen Loney on YouTube. Good day there, Stephen.
Good evening. Man, obviously, this is like our first evening stream.
Yeah, we're doing the mornings, and I keep wanting to say morning, and it's evening, and
yeah. So welcome to our first evening stream. Usually you don't trip up on our intro, but I'll give you a break. Right?
Yeah, I'm tired. I've got coffee, but it's decaf,
Yeah.
Cheers. We've got a cheers. Yeah, for sure. Cheers to an evening show. Boom.
What cup do you have tonight? Ottawa. I have
Ottawa.
Osaka,
Japan.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we have a fun show planned for you today. A couple of the highlights. We're going to talk about the Google Stadia fiasco a little bit more. Some good news about that. Sony and NVIDIA, as well as AI written articles by a major tech company out there, and Super Nintendo World. So if you are interested in any of those specific spots, we will be putting show notes or timestamps in the description so you can jump ahead if you're watching this on the repeat. So, good weekend? Now it's like half a day later than I usually ask you, so.
Yeah, right. I have even more time to forget the weekend like I usually do. It was a good weekend. Yes, it was really, really good. I won't go into details, but it's just good. How about your weekend? Was it good?
It was good. I did some painting. Actually, I painted the ceiling in a bedroom, and when you paint above your head, you get lots of paint on yourself.
I don't attribute painting with a good weekend in my books, but
sure. I mean, it was good. I don't know. I'm not saying that was fun. It was still good. So
that's true. Fair point.
So our stream could be a little louder than normal, just because there are more people in our homes in the evening here rather than
dogs.
In the mornings as well. Dogs. Yes. Our dog is sleeping. But
that's nice.
Yeah. Although I don't have to worry about the garbage truck.
Oh, or your neighbor blowing leaves out of his yard.
That's true.
Or you shouldn't. I mean, you shouldn't be at this time, but
yeah, it's snow blowing. So, if you haven't joined us before, we again, this is the Tech ChitChat show, and we enjoy chatting about tech and trending articles about tech. So, Stephen and I used to typically go to coffee shops and talk about tech, and we thought we'd bring that to you guys and just chat about tech. So pipe in the comments. We like to bring you into the comment or notes in from the comments and talk about them and be involved in the conversation, and grab a cup of coffee and join us. So why don't we dive into it? I think Thomas is telling me not to sneeze. He's worried about me sneezing here. So I think all the stumbling over the evening and not the morning, I tell you. All right. Let's jump into the first one. I know we talked about Google Stadia in the past, and we talked about how it was gonna cease to exist.
Yeah.
Cease to desist. Cease to exist. And that day is finally coming.
Yes.
Yes. Is it tomorrow? I believe it's tomorrow. January 18th. It's the 17th. So tomorrow is the day.
Yeah.
But there's good news, and I think we actually talked about this before. There was a lot of outcry that people wanted, because you're getting refunded if you had one of these controllers or bought any Stadia products, but they didn't want all these controllers just being tossed into the garbage. And there was a lot of outcry that it would become a standard Bluetooth controller because the device does have Bluetooth. And that's happening, which is really cool. So you'll be able to use it as a Bluetooth controller.
Yeah.
There are some steps involved. Do you want to talk about that, Stephen?
Yeah.
Or what's happening?
Yeah. So first off, this is great. So by default, the controller was Wi-Fi only. They were having it tie in directly through your Wi-Fi system to save some of that latency time, right? Which makes sense.
Mhm.
Rather than going to your computer and then to the Wi-Fi, it was just direct to Wi-Fi to just try to get the lower latency. So that's why out of the box it wasn't direct talking with Bluetooth, even though it has Bluetooth. Apparently, it does have a Bluetooth module in there. It wasn't being used for the actual Stadia stuff. So this update will be enabling that Bluetooth module in there, allowing you to use it wirelessly that way. And it has been usable already, hardwired, but this enables the Bluetooth connectivity. So this article here discusses that, but I found later tonight from, maybe we'll jump into that from The Verge. They put an article here actually explaining the steps of how to do it exactly. I think you have to download their tool and then it should like,
I was talking about going over to Chrome, I think, update tool in Chrome or Edge, actually. It looks like it's both of them.
Okay. And
you can update it. Now, once you update, there's no going back.
Okay.
So I'm assuming it's like similar to like a firmware update that you can't undo it. And it has to be done by December the 31st of 2023. So if you don't do it, as of right now, you're going to be out of luck. So make sure you do that. You would still be able to use the controller wired, but to enable the Bluetooth and have it as a Bluetooth controller, you would need to jump on that.
And I'm curious to know what their reasoning is for that. Why having a deadline on it? I'm a little not sure why they would do that.
I'm wondering if it's that they want to end support and just cut ties with it. Would be my guess. So as long as you're allowing people to do this, you kind of have to have support for it.
Right.
So if you have a hard deadline, then this is when it's cutting off.
And too bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
You've had enough time. Yeah. Fair enough.
So there's a lot of people. I mean, I think one of these articles was saying all of the controllers, if not all of them, most of them were made, was it in 2019?
Yeah.
And so they just had stacks and stacks of controllers and very little of them being sold. So, I mean, a lot of people who did buy these have already gotten their refund and are basically getting a free gaming controller. So
I saw somewhere, I think it was actually the Opera GX Twitter account. They were joking about, hey, time to buy Stadia's for just a controller because it's cheaper than the PS5 controller right now and stuff. Because apparently the Stadia controller is actually, I never used one, but a pretty solid controller. Like it
looks pretty nice. Like if you could, if you could get one for free or refunded, then sure, that'd be kind of cool to get.
Yeah.
Thomas is saying it's the limited edition Bluetooth controller.
Yeah. Google, they need to go back and rebrand it and like sell it,
Yeah.
Brandon, good job. Good thinking.
Yeah. So, it's an interesting thing. I'm glad they're doing this because there would have been a lot of kind of, they call it e-waste or whatever. Yeah. And
it would
it's just nice that people can reuse them.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree.
Any other thoughts on that?
As much as it wasn't totally surprising that Stadia shut down, they had hoped that it would do better. I mean, we've seen various companies come and go in the past. Mm-hmm. This isn't new, but at least they've been shutting the refunds and stuff. Has been an attempt to be like, okay, it didn't work, but to not put a terrible taste in people's mouths, even though it failed. And allowing people to use controllers seems like just a good step. Like that's appreciated.
True.
Yeah, it's a nod in the right direction of at least they failed, but at least they're not just like being nope, we're done out.
We forgot to talk about this part of it, the Worm game.
Oh yeah, they're also so they've also released the Worm game, which is what apparently they were using for early testing all the way through with the Stadia platform. It's a very simple Snake kind of game, but allowed them to just test things out, right? So you can go ahead and play that. But this site here from Ars Technica that gives a fair criticism, though, being this is one of the weak points. This game actually highlights a weak point to Stadia, in that this game could be downloaded in a few megabytes and run on any basic phone locally. Mm-hmm. It doesn't need, and the bandwidth used to stream it is way higher than it would take to download it. and the latency, you can feel it in this game, is actually the kind of game that you really need lower latency, which is probably why they picked it for testing, because they wanted to get the latency as low as possible, right? But at the end of the day, the Worm game still kind of highlights where the weak point for the platform and not the strength.
Yeah.
So
I like that they did the Worm game. It's kind of like Snake.
yeah.
It's kind of a fun thing. So David is asking here, will it work on the PS4? And in these articles that I've been reading, I haven't seen anything about that. Have you come across anything like that, Stephen?
Yeah, I have. I have not. My guess would be no. I mean, if it did, that would be cool, but I would have my doubts. I can imagine it's for PC and like Mac Bluetooth connectivity. I don't even know. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't assume anything past PC and like phones and stuff like that, and Android devices and stuff.
Yeah. So. That being said, like with all tech, there's commonly someone who comes along and cracks it and says, hey,
and finds a way.
So I wouldn't be surprised if in 6 months you can, because someone cracks it. But as of right now, I have not heard anything on that. So
what did
if any of you have heard anything, comment on it, because that would be good to know.
Did Jeff Goldblum say, nerds will find a way? Is that what you're referencing? So
I haven't heard that before, but
so yeah, I have doubts. But if anything comes of it, that'd be cool. That'd be a cool bonus. But I wouldn't have hopes in that. So
yeah, no, for sure. Well, let's jump on to the next topic. Yeah. Sony has introduced a new Walkman.
What?
And all of you youngins out there are saying, what is a Walkman? Well, do you want to show your original Walkman there, Stephen?
Yeah, so for all the children out there, here is a Sony Walkman, complete with, see, tape in there.
Tape. Oh, nice. Yeah. So I used to have a yellow one that was like that. And I think it was like water.
In case anyone's curious, that's the tape for anyone who cares.
Korean auto memory tape? What did that say?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Auto memory tape? Is that to learn to memorize in Korean, or?
Yeah, it's like, it's great.
So I have a Walkman here. I found this one. This is my like doomsday Walkman. It's only a radio. This one, you can see it says Walkman there. This is so I can listen to the radio if something happens.
And sorry, does that one have AM and FM radio?
It has AM and FM.
Wow.
And I could go to the drive-in and listen on my own earbuds.
Okay, mine has a radio too. But anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But this one's smaller, so.
Yeah. Probably better, more battery efficient and all that stuff.
Anyway, let's jump over to what Sony's doing now.
Yeah.
Modern Walkman. So this is, I only see the pricing here in euros and pounds. So it's a new Walkman. I like that it has a headphone jack. That was the first thing I'm like, is there a headphone jack?
Yes.
It runs Android, I think 12.
Okay.
And so 350 pounds, 400 euros, which is probably about I'm guessing approximately 450 American dollars.
Okay.
And it runs Android 12, a 3.5 inch or 3.6 inch screen. But the interesting thing when you look at the pictures here, so it'll allow you to put your like different apps on it, music apps. I see here it's got Chrome on it. It's got Google Play Store. So I don't know if they're locking down some of the apps, or I feel like there's a little Google icon here too that has maybe a YouTube logo in it. So it might be a little bit more functional that way. But they're saying that there's enhancements in it that will upscale your music to, I think it was CD quality.
Okay. Like the lower MP3 bit rate, they'll try to convert it to a higher quality.
Yeah, to give you a better sounding music there. So I don't know. 36 hours of playback with the 44.1 kilohertz FLAC files, all the technical stuff.
So this is kind of like Sony's iPod Touch in a way.
That's exactly what I thought when I saw this. I'm like, this is like an iPod Touch. It's just a Sony one that's been released now.
I mean, it looks nice. I like
Yeah.
it. So it's like an iPod Touch with a build quality that's meant to be for I don't know how you pronounce it, audio, like how you pronounce the super audio nerds.
Yeah.
It's meant to be for that crowd. So like some
Mhm.
higher quality components for that.
Yeah.
But other than that, once you get past that, what else is different from like they don't,
Well, is it just a phone that's not a phone?
yeah, yeah.
So the other thing people I want to say are like noting is that it only has 32 gigabytes of storage in it. I don't know if there's larger storage capacities, um, but if you have large collections of digital music, that's not going to go very far.
I listen to about the same 20 to 25 albums, so I don't think I would like 32 gigs. Man, that's a lot for me. It's kind of
Yeah.
like when you have a very small music, like I don't know.
It kind of reminds me when I got my PS3 and I'd rip every CD I had and use it as a jukebox onto
Right,
it because the PS3 had a ripper in it and
right.
it would store it on there. You could put the like little thumbnails for it on there. Um,
Which is interesting
so
now to think about that.
yeah, yeah. So all that music you can now put on your Walkman.
You can finally take it off your PS3.
Yeah,
It has a new home.
that PS3 kicked the bucket. So I think
So
I
did
bought
mine.
your old PS3. Well, your original one kicked the bucket, and then I bought your old PS3, the slim one.
Oh, you did. Did that one? Kick the
You don't
bucket?
even remember.
No.
That one still works.
Oh, okay.
We have it set up. I
Yeah,
can go
both of
play
our
it. And
OG PS3s, they both died. Yeah.
yeah, but they were the 60 gig backwards compatible ones, so
Yeah. Yeah.
it's yeah, but it's too bad.
Yeah.
So Thomas is saying we're going back to 1994 quality with the CDs. I think he's what he's referring to.
In one of the screenshots, I was a little sad. It showed like I think it was just how they marketed it on the screen. It showed like a little cassette tape on the screen. Did you have that there? Maybe it was a different article. No, but well, that's a whole different article there. We can talk about that. No, let's not go there.
Well, I was just looking at the gamepad going, oh, that looks cool. The PS2 emulator. I have no clue what this article's about, but it looks pretty cool.
But the walk the image had like a cassette in the display, and I was like, is it like part digital, but like they have like a hard like an actual cassette player in there? I thought for a moment it was like a split digital, split analog, and I was like,
Oh, okay.
oh. But it wasn't. It was just how the screenshot came across, and it was just marketing. I was like a little sad, but
So here's a question for you. You know how people love records now? Like records are the fad again.
yeah.
Like people, has anyone created like a music player or an add-on that you push a button and you can turn like if can enhance music, could you have something that makes it sound like a record?
Probably. We can just add some AI generated stuff to it to make it sound that way.
Yeah,
I'm jumping the gun. We'll get there
Is
later.
is that foreshadowing? I was gonna.
That's
say.
foreshadowing. Yeah, we're just going to use some artificial intelligence to go back to the past.
Yeah, yeah. So
No,
well, anyway, are you going to be buying one of those?
I already have one, so I don't need one.
Oh, okay. It's cool, but I'll just stick with my phone. I see it's just for the music enthusiast, I think,
Yeah.
and yeah.
My audio quality standards have lowered over the years, so I don't care that much.
Yeah.
It's neat for those who do care, but for me, I'm fine with 192 kilobytes a second MP3.
I think I listen to a lot of podcasts and different things, and I don't. Yeah, I mean, well, if you can put Spotify and stuff on there, it probably can actually
You can,
play
yeah.
podcasts. But
Yeah.
I may as well just do that with my phone. So,
Right.
all right, this is for all of you people who are in your little meetings and can't keep your eyes on the screen, and you're getting busted for not paying attention. NVIDIA Broadcast will maintain eye contact even if you're looking away from the camera.
Yeah.
Well,
We're clearly not using it tonight.
What was that?
Introducing our new technology.
Yeah.
It ain't working.
So there's actually on this Engadget article, there's actually a little video in here you can watch, and the link is in the description. But it's showing him like looking away. This is actually from that video, looking away, and then the NVIDIA broadcast straightens his eyes.
Yes.
So it looks like he's looking at the screen, and it will continue with having blinking and everything in there as well. So
I'm conflicted.
You no longer need to pay attention, Stephen.
Sweet. Can I fall asleep and keep my eyes open for me?
So some of the requirements of this are at least a 2060 graphics card, 8 gigs of RAM, and they recommend at least an i5 8600 or Ryzen 5 2600 processor.
Right.
And there was also some new blur background effects and different things that came as well.
Right.
With vignetting and stuff.
It's a pretty neat piece of software. If you actually, that's actually a selling point for me for NVIDIA graphics cards. That's one of the reasons right now I'm using a 1080 Ti and 1070, but I'm looking, that's one thing I'm looking forward to with getting a newer card is getting access again to the NVIDIA broadcast for some of the stuff. It's just nice to have. I don't know that I would use the eye contact thing. That's a little weird for me, but I don't think I'd be offended if somebody else used it in the right context. But I'll mention here, they did say though too that if you do look far enough away, it will then try to blend between points to actually have you look away at certain points.
Do you end up with two eyes? Or like two eyes on each side?
Could you imagine it starts to like derp your eyes out by mistake, and you get like you're like in a job interview and your eyes start going everywhere? Like maybe don't use it for a job interview online.
No, look at your camera during the job interview.
Do that manually. Don't depend on AI that could make your interviewer really weirded out by you when they, but yeah, it's neat. It's a cool option and package to the NVIDIA broadcast along with some of the filters, and it's I have used NVIDIA broadcast for the image blurring for time and stuff, and it's pretty good. So yeah.
I think Thomas is complimenting you on your foreshadowing for the AI with the Linus Tech Tips segue that you did.
I've watched. Yeah. Sometimes we get it right, but sometimes not so much.
Well, let's actually move on to that article. Then.
As for a bad segue. Now that we're actually going to the foreshadowing segue I was meaning before.
Yeah. CNET. Yes, CNET has been quietly publishing AI written articles for multiple months now. So that article that you thought was written by your favorite journalist might have been actually written by
Skynet.
By Skynet.
Yeah.
So yeah, CNET has been quietly publishing AI written articles for months. I believe, where did it say? Was it October or November? And there was something like 73 AI generated articles have been up on their website. The first article was written by CNET Money staff and published on November 11th with the headline, "What is a credit card charge off?"
So as I take it, they see it as a way to use it for like generic articles that don't really need nuanced information, is my opinion. Is like, what is some really boring stuff that's always the same report? What if we just like get the numbers and it just makes it sound nice and there's nothing really interesting there? It's our boring news. That seems to be where I think but then they're still having editors go over that.
Yeah, so editors are looking at the articles and everything like that before it's published. But I think we more just wanted to talk about this because it's kind of more interesting, and something that's really big in the tech world right now is AI and Chat GPT and stuff. And if you haven't heard of it, basically you can ask it to write you an essay, you can ask it to write you an article, you can I believe it does some coding, if I'm not mistaken. It can do all sorts of cool stuff. It can try and take a lot of the work, do a lot of the work for you. But as you and I were discussing actually this morning, where is it getting that information from? And I'm not saying good or bad. I think in some situations it's good. I've used AI for like vidIQ can help you write thumbnail or titles for your YouTube videos, or even paragraphs for your description. And I've tinkered with that a little bit, but like it can be good, but it could also be used for bad, because I've heard that schools are starting to block this sort of thing, because now all of a sudden you could have a AI write an essay for you and do your homework for you, right? So thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think the big takeaway, the main thing that concerns me with all the AI stuff, and it has for others, is where is it getting the information from to construct this data? So if it's pulling from 100 different news sources that have been crawled and scraped, and the guy just puts in do, and it's actually taking the writing styles and all the 100 different things and putting together, for example.
Yeah.
Is that ethical? Now that you've removed what's the word, bibliography, you've removed all traces of where you got the data from. If you were to write an essay at school and have you do your research, and you have to put your footnotes of where you got information from. If you don't put those footnotes, it's plagiarism and you get flunked. So if you're scraping, if this is scraping dictionaries and research papers and this and this and that, and there's no bibliography, there's no footnotes of where you got stuff from, it's plagiarism.
Yeah.
Like, how do you? So that's kind of
Well, how? Yeah, I guess that's the question: is how? If you ask it to write something, how independent is it? Or like if someone, so if two people ask it to write the same article, I need an article that's 1,500 words on the Sony PlayStation.
Yeah.
Will they both get the same article, or almost an identical article that then becomes plagiarism because you're both publishing the same thing? Or is there like an open source kind of like that it doesn't get covered under plagiarism? Or I don't know. Like it's just a new world.
So I was on a side note, I did read, there's someone I follow on Twitter, Sarah Anderson or something her name is, and she does like four window comics, really just cute style and good, like really funny, just good style. She is actually one of a number of artists who are suing, I think, in California over this matter, for art stuff, and they are suing because for reasons related to this, and it's kind of a big deal. This isn't a small thing. Where's the data coming from? So with and this is not, we're not throwing CNET under the bus here. Like, they're experimenting with this and doing stuff with it.
No, and this article does talk about other major companies doing the same thing and experimenting with it and studying it. So it's not just CNET, but
even we were even playing with the crayon AI thing.
Yes, where you typed in a few words and like cat Christmas tree, and it would like create like a combined.
And we were using it for like dumb fun, but when you start cluing in, like, where are they getting the data sets from? Where are they getting, whose art is it actually using to construct this stuff? And then it's kind of tainted it a bit, because I don't know where the data is coming from.
And then you open up the whole fair use, like how much has to change before it becomes like fair use, right? So it's I think this is going to be a battle. I think a lot of people are going to start using it, and I think they're going to have to somehow figure out a way to rein it in. And there's already organizations that are blocking it, or so it'll be an interesting topic to follow over the next few years.
And I think we were talking earlier, I think one thing that might come up, like right now with websites, you have like the cookies thing. You accept, yes, I'll accept all the cookies, right? And all that, right? And I think it may come with sites and places saying, no, you can't crawl our site. Like there'll be like statements saying you're not allowed to crawl our website. We will sue you if any of this makes into your data set, like explicit that may come right away, or you to use a site, it will say you have no permission to use our information or all that kind of stuff. That's probably coming. And so anyway,
it'll be an interesting thing, because I don't know, there's a lot happening there and it's moving really quickly. So
yeah.
All right, let's move on to this last one. This one's fun. I know we actually talked about this before for Japan.
Yes, a much lighter topic. Yay!
A much lighter topic. Super Nintendo World is opening next month in Hollywood at Universal Studios, and basically behind the scenes people are already getting in there. And it's the Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Hollywood. This is IGN that was their preview of the Mario themed food, surprises, and more. And I just realized that I loaded up the Middle East version of IGN and not the, not the North American.
We went over this, Ken. We went over this already.
Yeah. So we're back to the original one here, but so if you're a Super Mario fan, next time you go to Universal Studios, you can go visit Super Mario World. There's, I believe it was Bowser, I want to say Bowser's Castle, which is like a VR ride / you put on these goggles and I think you collect coins and do different things. You can buy a little watch and there's these check marks or question marks around there, and you can collect coins and all sorts of Mario themed foods and stuff in there. So thoughts on this? I am excited about this. I want to go here.
It's to me like it's pretty close to the one that's in Japan, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. It looks pretty similar, which is like, it looks really well done. I don't know. I mean, I've already wanted to go to the one in Japan, so I mean, I guess if I was able to go to this one and it's closer, I'd probably go. I don't know. I don't know how much thoughts I have on this, honestly.
Well, and they're also going to be. I'm just reading the comments here. They're also going to be building one in Orlando as well. I think that's about.
Oh, they are
a few years away. So this is always the debate in our house. Thank you, Thomas.
Sorry, I say Mario.
Super Mario Brothers. Mario.
Yeah,
I say Mario. Yeah.
I've been corrected to say Mario, but I still say Mario.
I'm Mario.
What?
Maybe they Mario. Now I said both.
Yeah, you were like changing it on me. So
I don't know. Now I don't know. Super Mario. Super Mario. Every second time I say it differently.
Whatever. I'll take that.
Now I'm thinking about it, so I don't know what I say. That's the problem.
We need the AI to correct us, to help us.
Yeah. So super cool like resort. If you actually, there's lots of YouTube videos about the one in Japan. It's really cool. I watched some of those videos, but I'm sure there'll be more content coming out about the one here in Hollywood pretty soon. But you can get all sorts of different foods and Mario foods and different things.
Yoshi says he needs Kirby cafes in Canada.
Kirby Cafe, yeah, you can get.
Is that actually a thing? Are there actually Kirby cafes? Because that would make sense since Kirby eats everything. Is that?
I can't remember what the restaurant was called.
I'm gonna look that up. Kirby Cafe.
I think
there's a Kirby Cafe. All right.
Cool.
I don't know if interesting. Delicious times.
They call it Toadstool Cafe at Universal.
Okay.
So there's all sorts of different statues and different things. Yeah, I think it's a fun thing. I really would like to go there. I've always loved Universal Studios. Now, this was also talking about in Japan, and hopefully it comes to North America as well. They're going to be developing a Donkey Kong world, and I believe they've also partnered with Pokemon. So it might be a Pokemon world coming as well. So it'll be interesting to see if those come to North America down the road as well.
So I'm trying to share something with you here, just to reference what Yoshi was talking about. Apparently, this is the Kirby Cafe website here. Look at that. You can see their dishes. Apparently, this is a thing.
Ooh, interesting. Where is this located?
Somewhere in Japan.
Oh.
I don't know.
I thought it was around here. Or
no, this is all in Japanese, and I can't read Japanese. So, this is Kirby Cat. There's Tokyo, Hakata, Nagoya. Apparently 3 different places I can tell. Anyway, Kirby Cafe.
Yoshi, have you been to that Kirby Cafe, or are you just drooling over the website?
Hakata. Neat. Well, I feel a little bit. This is something I didn't know about. I like the car. I like this one a lot. Oh, you already know. I'm still scrolling through it. Ignore it. Never mind. But the one with the him.
Oh, I'm going back now.
Yeah.
That one. The
yeah. That one. That I like that a lot. Anyway.
Well, so I think that's fun. I'm going to ask the question of the day. What happens actually before we, at 100 subscribers, Stephen, before we ask the question of the day?
At 100 subscribers, we are looking to upgrade our lovely 720p to a full 1080p high definition stream, so you can see us in more high definition clarity. So if you'd like to help us get there sooner, subscribe here on YouTube. That's only for YouTube subscriptions. Sorry to everyone else. But yeah, that's what we're looking to do at 100 subscribers.
But you can subscribe everywhere else as well. So if you don't want to,
we won't stop you.
Yoshi has not been there yet.
Maybe one day.
One day, yeah. Yoshi.
Yep.
That cafe has a really good name.
It does.
Yes. I thought you were the owner of it, Yoshi.
Yoshi's the owner of Kirby Cafe. Maybe one day he'll be. I could see that. Yoshi running the Kirby Cafe. It's fun.
Yeah. So our question of the day is: are you excited about Super Mario World? I think I've already said yes, I am. I would really want to go there. Your thought?
I think I would go. I'm not like super. If I was a kid, if I was like 10 years old, it'd be like I'd rather go there than Disneyland or Disney World. I'd rather go there than Disneyland and Disney World. That'd be my preference. Out of the theme parks in the world, that's if I had to go to a theme park, I think that'd be the one I'd maybe pick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like Universal. I am excited about it. I haven't been in a few years, but now I need to go.
You need to?
I need to. Yes.
It's a strong statement.
I need to go. So I'm excited about it. You guys can comment in the comment section below whether you need to go as well.
Going to the Super Nintendo World. So that's what we're talking about.
Yes. Yeah, we're talking about Super Nintendo World.
Just to put back the context there. Anyway.
All right. That's awesome. Well, that's our final topic of the day. And let's if there's any comments out there, we'll talk about them as well. Thomas is wondering about Pikmin Land, and he'll go.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that should be a part of Super Mario World there.
Zelda Land.
Yeah.
Oh, Yoshi's saying Pikmin, sign me up.
Oh, really? Okay. Apparently people like Pikmin. My guess is I would go to Mario than Disney, but I would go on my own as a desire. No, so you wouldn't go on your own, but
see, yeah. I'm perfectly okay going alone. I can go to the movies alone. I just I'm okay doing stuff alone.
Right.
But I understand. I like Disney too, but Mario just seems really cool. So, do you go to the movies alone? It's been a long time since I've gone to the movies alone, but I don't mind going to the movies alone.
I prefer watching movies alone. I actually prefer watching movies alone and then talking later to people about it is my preference. I just like to focus on it. I don't need people with me, and then we'll talk later.
I actually prefer watching sports alone.
You do, eh?
Yeah.
Wow, that's really something.
Well, it depends who I'm watching with.
Well, we used to go to Boston Pizza and watch hockey together. That was fun.
That's saying true. I like it. I enjoyed that. I just
that involved pizza though, so that of course that was.
I should say that. Let me rephrase that. I don't like having to explain a sport while I'm watching it.
Okay, that's who you watch it with. Yeah.
So Yoshi would rather go visit friends in the States than go to the theme parks. Why don't you go to the theme parks with your friends? That's even better. But I hear you. Family's important. I would agree. So family and friends are very important. So any other final thoughts there, Stephen, that you wanted to talk about?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's still more that I want to talk about, the AI stuff, but I think there's too much for there. That's an ongoing conversation. There's more time for that in the future, Lord willing. So,
yeah.
Yoshi, pizza better than sports. Pizza with sports.
Yeah, you have to have them like that's a together thing, not a one over the other.
Pizza with sports and a friend, just it's like Boston Pizza or some restaurant like that. Good time.
Yeah,
I'm not even a big sports fan. I can watch them, but with a friend eating pizza,
yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah, or nachos or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah.
So awesome. Well, let's wind it down there, Stephen. And so that's been the Tech Chit Chat show for this week. We might do some more in the evening. We might do some more in the morning. We're still working through that. So thank you for joining us today. And you can always listen to us on the podcast as well. So join us on your favorite podcasting platform. Remember to subscribe, and we're going to cut it out there. So thanks for watching, and take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Yeah, see you guys.